Hey guys, you're here with Bo. Welcome back. In today's video, we're going to talk about the recent surge in Bitcoin and actually have a look at why it's going up so much and so quickly. We're then going to check out an interesting interview between Richard Hart and Rhett Creighton, followed by some news coming out of the development conference on Ethereum, with Vitalik announcing a 3 to 4 year plan on how they're looking to upgrade the Ethereum network. So stick around guys and let's get into it. So guys, first up, having a look at the market. Whoa, $188 billion. We're at an all-time high for the entire cryptocurrency market. As we can see, a lot of red in the altcoins as people are likely selling their altcoins to buy into Bitcoin, given Bitcoin's amazing and very steep rise over the last few days. If we actually have a look at the 7-day percentage increases, we can see Bitcoin up 20% in the last 7 days, which is just absolutely phenomenal. So Bitcoin just breaking record after record after record. We've also got Bitcoin Cash up 63%. Got a couple of articles to look at to try and explain why that's gone up so much in value. And BitConnect still going up in value. Not sure about that one. Very interesting to see why that just keeps going up and up and up. Very strange indeed. Now across the board, a lot of red in the alts. If anything, like I said before, people are likely selling their altcoins to buy into Bitcoin, given that price rise at the moment. If you were looking at getting into some of these altcoins, you could see some really good prices. It'll be interesting to see what happens after the mid-November hard fork and whether that money starts to come out of Bitcoin and flow back into the altcoins. If we check out the global charts, we can see that the Bitcoin dominance is growing. So this provides us a correlation between the drop in value of the altcoins and the increase in value in Bitcoin. We can see the two separating or diverging. Now, as we can see here at the start of the year, Bitcoin was at around 85% total domination, so still not even close to where it was. Again, it'll be interesting to see what happens after the hard fork and whether some of that money comes out of Bitcoin and starts flowing back into the altcoins. But let's check out some news on why Bitcoin Cash might be going up so much in value. So an article here from CoinDesk titled "Bitcoin Cash Outlook Improves as Traders Greet New Code Release." So it looks like they've released a new version of the mining code, which has been versioned up to 0.16. Looks like the changes are going to come into effect on November the 13th. Now, they've mentioned a hard fork here. Whether that is an actual hard fork or not, I'm not exactly sure, but that'll be quite interesting to note if they're actually hard forking Bitcoin Cash, which is a hard fork of Bitcoin. So it looks like this might have created some clarity to investors, or I guess some confidence into investors. Now the Bitcoin value just keeps going up and breaking record after record. So some pretty big news came in yesterday, and that was that the CME Group are planning to launch Bitcoin futures in the later part of this year. Now the CME Group is based in the US, and it is the world's largest options and futures exchange. And also, for those that don't know, and certainly this is definitely not something I'm very experienced in, is futures contracts are almost like an agreement to buy or sell a particular asset at a predetermined price. Now, I think there's some negotiation that happens between the buyer and the seller leading up to that date, depending on where the market is at the time, and basically against that initial price that they agreed in that contract. Now, the exact release date of this futures contract has not been officially announced yet. The CEO, Terry Duffy, has come out in a statement here saying that given the increasing client interest in the evolving cryptocurrency markets, we have decided to introduce a Bitcoin futures contract. As the world's largest regulated FX marketplace, CME Group is the natural home for this new vehicle that will provide investors with transparency, price, discovery, and risk transfer capabilities. Now, it does also look like the launch is still waiting on approval from US regulators, and it looks like that other people in this space who have looked to do similar things have hit some headwinds with Bitcoin before, so there is still that hurdle to overcome. I think the big thing to take out of this is that a lot of people are seeing this as Bitcoin's entry point into the big institutional investment circles in the traditional stock markets. up until this point, Bitcoin has largely been very dispersed in terms of the investment or the general people getting involved in it. So if Bitcoin heads down this track and is able to penetrate that institutional investment, it's unlocking an enormous amount of wealth and money that could pour into Bitcoin, into both investment and into trading, which in the long term would be very favorable for Bitcoin's price. So let's go and check out this interview between Richard Hart and Rhett Creighton. Now, just before we start, to learn a little bit about Rhett. Rhett is the creator of Z Classic and Whalecoin. Looks like he's been a Bitcoin contributor for a while, and looks like he's generally in the Bitcoin community. He's got here on Twitter that Bitcoin Cash is not some kind of dividend, it's insurance against Bitcoin SegWit destroying itself on November the 15th. I've never heard of this guy before this interview, but it looks like he's got something to do with Bitcoin Cash. Now, Richard Hart, I've been following Richard on Twitter basically ever since I got into cryptocurrency, and I really like him. He's a Bitcoin evangelist and he posts some really, really good tweets. I think Richard has been around in the Bitcoin community and as a Bitcoin investor for quite a few years. Now, as you guys would know, people that have been involved in Bitcoin for a long time are quite rare. So Richard does actually provide a lot of value to, I think, the Bitcoin community and the people that are actually wanting to get involved with it. Now, also guys, just so you know, this is just a clip from the entire interview. This was a really interesting part, and Crypto Daily also covered this as well, but I wanted to recover it here because Richard does say some really, really interesting things that I want to have a talk about after. So without further ado, let's get started.
You could be 100% technically right, and you will lose your fucking ass in these markets, because these markets don't give a shit about technically right at all. Did you see Bitcoin Cash going from 20 to 5 back to 10? I didn't see it going up. Did you see it going up? Did you fucking buy into Ethereum when it went from 1 to 400? I didn't, because it's a piece of shit. But guess what? Market don't give a fuck about that. So friend to friend, you don't know shit about price unless you eat, drink, sleep, and live it, because it is 100% decoupled and unrelated from anything that makes fucking sense. Except in the case of Bitcoin, it just keeps going up. More press, more Google searches. Blocks come slower, price goes up. Forks, price goes up. Blocks full, price goes up. Fucking, it's hard to find a thing that'll drive the goddamn price down.
So some really interesting points there, guys. I'm not sure if I quite agree with him regarding Ethereum. I think Ethereum's an amazing cryptocurrency, but he is so right on the fundamentals of Bitcoin and why it's going up and how you've got to study the price. You know, overall, just a really interesting interview between Rhett and Richard. I highly suggest you go and follow him on both Twitter and YouTube, because he really does have some fantastic knowledge and insights into Bitcoin. And he's someone that you can gain a lot of knowledge from as well. So with that out of the way, let's go and check out the next article. So the SEC today or yesterday has released a statement on ICOs being endorsed by celebrities and people on social media. So basically, the statement is a warning to investors about celebrity endorsed initial coin offerings. So they go on to say here that celebrities and others are using social media networks to encourage the public to purchase stocks and other investments. These endorsements may be unlawful if they do not disclose the nature, the source, and amount of any compensation paid directly or indirectly by the company in exchange for the endorsement. So as some of you would know, people like Jamie Foxx, Floyd Mayweather, Paris Hilton, I think DJ Khaled as well, have all backed different forms of cryptocurrency ICOs. I think Stocks was one, I think Central was another one, and have basically given them a lot of hype and a lot of exposure out there in the general public. So the SEC goes on here and says that investors should note that celebrity endorsements may appear unbiased, but instead may be part of a paid promotion. Investment decisions should not be based solely on an endorsement by a promoter or other individual. It's a crazy world at the moment, and you just have to be really careful in everything, in things that you're investing in, information that you're watching as well. And as always, just to do your due diligence, and don't ever hesitate to ask or to seek other advice before you make a decision as well. So let's now go and check out some upgrades coming to Ethereum. So Vitalik Buterin, speaking at the Development Conference 3 held in Cancun, Mexico right now, has basically unveiled a multi-year vision for the upgrade and scalability of Ethereum. So because Ethereum is growing so much and so quickly, they really need to try and come up with some kind of scalability solution to allow the network to handle the load that's currently coming on it and the load that they're forecasting in the future. So the upgrade that they're thinking about doing is called sharding. And basically they say here it's a way of partitioning data into subsets of data that takes its inspiration from traditional databases. So this sharding is basically going to not only upgrade the infrastructure, but it's going to allow the scalability and governance that Ethereum want in the long term. So overall, this 3 to 4 year plan, I actually really like it. I like the fact that they're looking that far in the future. That gives me confidence, it gives me certainty, it gives me clarity as to Ethereum's vision and the fact that they see themselves being here for the long term and they see themselves being a key player in the cryptocurrency world. So very happy with this, and it'll be interesting to see what else comes out of the conference in the coming days. So guys, just before we finish, I've partnered up with Crypto Array. It's a new cryptocurrency store based out of Australia, selling all kinds of cool cryptocurrency related clothes. There'll be a discount code in the description. There'll also be a link straight to the website. Now, they've got some really cool stuff here. You can actually see there's a Cryptocurrency Australia mug and a Cryptocurrency Australia shirt. Now, it's so cool. These shirts come in different colors and sizes. I'm absolutely chuffed. I've got my black shirt on order and my mug on its way as well, so I can't wait for that to arrive. So there's also a heap of other cool custom design shirts. You've got HODL here and To The Moon and FOMO, and there's heaps more coming, guys. Now, if you want to get some, there will be a link in the description and a discount code. If you use that discount code, you'll get 10% off everything in the store. So guys, that's it from me. I really hope you enjoyed today's video. Now, I do still have a review of Cardano coming up. I just haven't had time to do that. And I thought I'd just let you know as well that I probably won't be uploading as frequently as I normally do because I am working on some stuff at the moment, some pretty cool stuff in the background, but I will still try and be posting at least every 2 to 3 times a week. So again, guys, thanks so much for watching. I'm Bo, and I'll see you in the next one.